One of the girls asked me this afternoon if I was a Hot Wheels collector, and I said, oh yeah. I said, as a matter of fact, I've got 22 big plastic totes full of Hot Wheels. They go all the way back to the 70s, I'm sure. Brings back very fond memories.
Thank you for celebrating the 50th anniversary of Hot Wheels with us. As you know, this is one of the stops in the Legends Tour in which we're looking for cars from the community.
Let's start with you. You want to discuss like the top 5 or 6, the cars that stood out for you?
The metal press truck, the big truck down here. Love that because he did all the work himself.
Yeah, there's some great cars out there for sure. But I'd say either that Camaro or the Jeepster are kind of my 2 favorites.
The Jeepster's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a black Woody's that was over there. It was cool. I think his grandson drew it like 9 years ago or something, and he built it off of what his grandson drew and started with just like the cowl, the radiator cowl or something.
That's great.
So it's really nothing. He built a whole car around it.
So the car that has it all is the Surf Rod by Robert Graham.
I've had a wonderful day here. We actually worked till midnight last night, swapped vehicles and drove up here, so we've been here since 3 a.m. The idea for this car came from my grandson who drew a picture. He was infatuated with Woodies and surfing, and he drew a Woody. When he got finished with it, he said, "Papa, we need to build one of these." My son, he wanted me to have a nostalgia California black and yellow tag on the car. So he had one made and sent it to me, and it's got surfing rod on it. I guess that's what they'll call it. And the name, I think, actually kind of fits a Hot Wheels car. It might be the name it's pinned with from now on. The build process was long. It was a 6-year project. I had no rhyme or reason when I started this car. I actually sat down and got a few thoughts together. I knew what I wanted to do for suspension and a chassis. I didn't have a problem getting that part of it built, but then when you start on the body and the interior and stuff like that, I didn't have a clue where I was going. I built the first body for this thing out of aluminum, painted it black, and put just the wood outline on it. When I ran out of ideas, I would stop, and sometimes I stopped for 4 months, 6 months. One time I stopped for a year. I wanted to build something that was extremely radical, and I think I pretty much hit the point. Garage spirit to me means pretty much everything. And if you get these kids out in the garage and spend time with them, it's something they never forget. We tried to drive it and go to a show at least once a week. And pretty much we've stayed on our mark doing it, and it's a thrill a minute. This was a new transmission put in it on Monday, and it just won't go. It'll back up, it'll go in park, but it won't go in drive. So if we're going forward, we got to push it. It means all the sheet metal's got to come off the front. The motor has to come out to get to the transmission. It's like sometimes I think I built this car around the transmission, and it's the only thing I've had a problem with. This car was absolutely a Hot Wheels inspired car. I mean, you know, before I knew anything about the 50th anniversary legends or anything like that, if my car became one of the Hot Wheels cars, it would be one of my greatest honors, especially to a guy who's worked in this industry the majority of his life. It actually didn't even cross my mind that I'd be sitting here right now. I guess I was wrong.